ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהכל נהיה בדברו.
לחיים.
Amen.
לחיים, לחיים, לחיים וברכה. David's coffee. Thank you. Okay, so just a brief recap. So the verse in Tehillim, chapter 55 of Tehillim, Pada v'shalom nafshi, that God redeems my soul with peace. It's a certain type of redemption. It's through peace that enemies become neutralized without war. Now, even though this type of peace occurred in the time of King Solomon, Shlomo Melech, the ultimate redemption through peace won't happen until the coming of Mashiach, the ultimate of it. Right? And in that alone, there's two stages of Mashiach. The first is the world naturally the way it is, just there won't be wars. Excuse me. There won't be wars. There'll be food for everybody and there'll be jealousies. And then second stage is resurrection of the dead. So to understand the distinction between those, the two time periods and now when we're living or when King Solomon lived, so we have to understand how peace is achieved without war. Well, one is through prayer. That's an internal war, right? Trying to focus, trying to you're dealing with your animal soul, that your heart should be, a heart that has a love for God, not a love for self. And then there is achieving this through the study of Torah, which doesn't have that same battle, right? Whereas in prayer and davening, I have to directly deal with my heart, because that's what prayer is about a sense of connection and feeling that connection in one's heart. So, there's a direct engagement with negativity of the heart, because the heart is very self-absorbed, right? Through the study of Torah, you're not engaged with Klippa directly, indirectly. And in study of Torah, we divided that into three dimensions. There's the revealed part of Torah, which is the do's and the don'ts, which the do's and the don'ts means, the laws of an animal gored another animal, or, your property did damage, your belongings did damage, like an animal did damage, right? So you're dealing with something that's klipa, but you're talking about it. It's not about the animal itself. It's the law concerning property damage, which can even include, lies that people say. And as we're learning at Rambam now, right, that someone stole something and then, the owner accuses the person taking an oath. Person takes an oath and lies, says, I didn't steal. So it's dealing with lies, but it's dealing not with the liar, it's dealing with the law about a lie. Right? That's not klipa itself. Although, it's not about the liar, it's about the law of this. That's one dimension of Torah study. Then there's the internal aspect of Torah, which is Chassidus, what we're learning now, that comes through intellectual understanding, grasping. When you refine the physical world by learning about godliness itself. So you're not learning about the physical world. When you're learning the do's and the don'ts and what's the law. So you're learning about the physical world in the law, right? Here you're learning about the godliness in the physical world, not about the physical world itself. That was it. It's a higher dimension. Then here's even a higher level of learning. And that's not just grasping and understanding godliness in the world, but seeing it and experiencing it, the truth of godliness in a tangible way. Okay, so now based on this, we're going to see how the Rebbe now will explain that the ultimate redemption through peace can be achieved only in the second stage of Mashiach. Okay. So there's three levels of refinement of the world through Torah. Again, there is refinement of the world through prayer. There's refinement of the world through acts of mitzvahs, right, which involve physical things. But here we're talking about through Torah, because again, through Torah, it's truly in peace. Because you're not, well, just think of it, there's a lot of darkness in the world. And when you're studying Torah right now, just for yourself, think about it. That darkness is it's as if it doesn't exist. There are a lot of challenges that we have. And just to take a brief moment on this, I know myself that, but a challenge, but dealing with a challenge, I study Torah, it just lifts me up that challenge becomes minuscule in comparison to what it was before I studied. Before I studied, I felt small in the face of the challenge. And after you learn, it reduces the magnitude of the challenge. Why? What happened? Because Torah is a refinement of us in a way that you're not dealing with the challenge. That's what it means to redeem through peace, right? You need to be redeemed. So you could do it with a real battle. Now, our brothers and sisters in Israel are doing it on the battlefield, literally. You can do it in a personal battlefield in prayer. And you can do it through Torah. So the type of Torah learning that we spoke about now, the three levels, three different time periods. Learning in the revealed part of Torah, the do's and the don'ts, the Talmud, Jewish law. That was in the times of King Solomon. Learning the inner aspect of Torah, which is what we're doing now, through intellect, through understanding, grasping it, will be in the first part of Mashiach. And in preparation for that is what we're doing now. In preparation for that reality. We're learning and we need to grasp what we're learning. Then there's learning the inner dimension of Torah. Well, I'm sorry, one second. Yeah. So that's what we're learning now that will truly be revealed, right? Times of Mashiach, the first stage. But then there is learning in a way that what you learn, you actually perceive. You don't just get it intellectually. You don't just get it intellectually. You experience it. It's real. Even more than it was at the giving of the Torah Mount Sinai. We say that Mashiach will come, when Mashiach comes, so the things that we learn now, that we have in our mind's eye, that we understand and grasp intellectually, we will be saying, oh, that all of a sudden we're experiencing it and seeing it in life, which is something quite remarkable. Okay, so we're going in, that's the direction we're going in the, so the Rebbe explains. So in the times of King Solomon, Malka Sheva, the Queen of Sheba, came to King Solomon and brought gifts to Jerusalem. Unlike his father, King David, King Solomon didn't go to war. He didn't go to war. His father did. And because his father did, which he rightfully so, he couldn't build the Holy Temple. He had all the plans were, everything was prepared by King David. The actual building could not take place when he was king because he had blood on his hands. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. You know, sometimes you got to fight the war. But because of that, he was not the one fitting to bring peace. That's not through war. He brought peace through war. Sometimes you need peace through war, right? That's what's going on in Israel. But then you need peace not through war. So he wasn't the vehicle for that. His son, Shlomo, right? As a matter of fact, his very name, Shalom, means peace. Shlomo comes from the word Shalom, means peace, right? And again, the way King David brought peace was through war, but the Holy Temple was to bring peace not through war, right? So he's the one who builds it, and you know, then people came to Jerusalem. They subjugated themselves to King Solomon as Queen of Sheba came. So based on this, Solomon himself sorry, my congestion still continues. So it wasn't, um, you know, so here, splitting of a hair. What we see, it wasn't King Solomon himself was the one who accomplished the refinement, but it was the fame of King Solomon that was, around the world, right? As the Queen of Sheba, she heard about him, didn't know of him, but heard of him. That's his fame, right? So Chassidus explains that a name is something that can be compared to a ray of light from the sun, right? Just like a name enables a person to be identified by someone else, a ray is an external expression of the sun when it shines on someone else, right? The ray is a lesser um, quality than the sun itself. And it's only through the ray that you can reach a faraway place, that the sun reaches a faraway place, right? Like the fame of King Solomon reached a faraway place that people came from far and wide. You see the comparison there. And that's similar to the dimension of Torah, which is God's wisdom as it goes to a faraway place. What's the faraway place? It's dealing with the physical topics and concepts of the physical world. Not with physicality itself, but about it in the law. So God's wisdom, like the sun, right? The fact that it's not the sun itself that's reaching to the physical, it's the ray of light from the sun, right? The sun doesn't itself reach far away, only the ray does. The fame isn't the person, it's the ray of the person that reaches far away. Very powerful idea here. Therefore, the revealed dimension of the Torah, which is a ray of Hashem's wisdom, can be compared to the reputation of Shlomo, the ray of Shlomo. Got that? Very powerful. We'll have more on that to come. Amazing how, the parallels that are made to see, wow, the things are not just You know, oh, this is, history. King David, he had blood on his hands, so he couldn't build. God says you can't build it. No, he brought peace. He had to do it through war. There's a parallel to that. Prayer is a war. But then you have to bring peace. It's not through a war, right? That's Torah. So we have a parallel in Torah to King Solomon and how the peace in his times. He fought no wars. It's just, and every detail is so fascinating. Wow. Beautiful. All right, folks, we'll see you